I think there are two ways in which people are controlled. First of all, frighten people, and secondly, demoralize them.
8 billion people
are being controlled by 100 families.
Who are these families?
Energy regulator Ofgem just announced that energy prices are rising by 54%.
Ireland has the most expensive electricity in the EU, with new figures showing prices here are nearly 40% above the European average.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I wanted to just jump right into it. And I can see that some of you guys had quite a bit to say about my What's Happening to America video. So I just wanted to kind of go more into that and touch more on some detail. Now, previously in the last video, I spoke about the type of book that I was reading, and I have it again right here. And I touched on it briefly, but it speaks about some of the plans and some of the things that we are seeing changing in the world right now, in world governance, and specifically in America with the global crisis, the economics, and the like the war that's going on. Going through some different things here throughout this video, so you guys can understand, not necessarily chronologically, but different things that the systems in play that they had in place to necessarily control the people, to keep us desensitized, to keep us in this turmoil, anxiety, and all of this, like I said in the previous video, guys, that this right here is by design. There's nothing natural about it. Everything here is calculated. They had 50, 100, 20 years into the future. All this stuff that we're seeing playing out right now, you can call it, maybe it's in the book of Revelation, all that, but these things are by scientists and politicians and by world powers, and it's all by design to keep us desensitized, trapped in this matrix, and basically demoralize the people. And you typically see that when a country or a continent, a society is on the demise. So please tune into the video, and we're gonna look at some of these reactions here.
Put out this changing world order, which showed these long-term cycles and the short-term cycles, and pretty much things have transpired along that arc. In other words, three big things: the creation of a lot of debt and printing of money, which has produced an inflation acceleration, which has raised the tightness of monetary policy and affected markets. Second, the internal conflicts between the left and the right and the political developments. And that has to do with social impacts and all of that arguing and that division. And we're seeing it reflected in the politics. And third, the great power conflicts. So we've seen the war with Russia develop. And then we've seen also, of course, the tensions and the approaching of a greater conflict with China, as there is a struggle for the power of the world and the changing world order. So that power, that arc, is continuing in the broad sense. And so we're at the brinks of these things. And as we watch them, you know, some things maybe are a little bit better. Some things are a little bit worse. You know, when I described it, I said, there's a 30% chance of some type of internal civil war. You know, 30% chance meaning that there's a conflict that maybe you don't follow the rules. 30% chance. I'd say there's a 35% chance now, roughly speaking. That doesn't mean it's likely, but you can see that we're on the brink of that. You can also see that in terms of the internal conflict, reflected in a number of things, that we are right at the brink, and the same is true for the international wars. We're right at the brink. That doesn't mean that we're going over the brink, but it means that those things are driving everything. They're driving how the economy is working, they're driving how the markets are working, they're driving how inflation is taking place, they're driving how the world is evolving in terms of its various parts, and the internal conflicts. So by and large, we're watching these episodes take place as this is transpiring.
Why are energy prices rising so quickly? In the UK, the energy regulator Ofgem just announced that energy prices are rising by 54%. The average household will have to pay around £700 more on gas and electricity per year. Prices are going up due to worldwide shortages of energy supplies. As countries began to recover from the pandemic, last year saw increased demand for energy, China saw energy consumption rise quickly, while a cold winter in Europe also meant more gas was used for heating. Not only has demand increased, but there have also been problems with supply. Russian pipeline supplies have been lower than expected, while renewable sources like wind and solar have produced less power than usual. The government has pledged to provide support to households, but this will only cover part of the increase. With food prices rising and higher tax rates, the cost of living is rapidly increasing.
All right, moments ago, the oil market closed, and this is amazing. Okay, oil closed up 4%. It's at 94.48. It's not cheap. Nobody's saying oil is cheap. But oil was $120. What, 10 hours ago? Last night when oil began trading, it soared 35%. The greatest single move, one-day move, percentage-wise, in the history of modern oil trading. It fell back $25 per barrel, a $50, $60 round trip for the price of crude oil in 12 hours.
So as you can see, after the events of 2020, the printing of the money, the 1971 situation of the Federal Reserve printing even more money, going off of the gold standard that we're seeing inflation what it is today, housing prices, gas prices, transportation, medical, all these things are going up. And it's by design to keep us at the bottom, to keep your wages stagnated, and to keep everyone basically continuously in the rat race, and the wage gap, the wealth gap, continuously expanding. So soon we will see a disappearance of the working middle class. That soon will be going away. The working made us believe is that we work for them, when in actuality they work for us, and they want to keep us down here like a crab in a bucket type of mentality, fighting for scraps, turning amongst ourselves, turning against each other, looking to the people to our left and our right, and having us believe that they are the enemy, when actually the people at the top making these rules, creating these conditions to have us fighting amongst ourselves, they're the ones who are the enemy. And as long as we stay divided, we will never see this. The best thing that we can do is come together, wake up as a community, wake up as a society, and realize, hey, the reason a lot of this is like this is from the people on the top, not your neighbors, not your school teacher, not your employee, not even your boss, not that Uber driver, no one. It's the people at the top creating these conditions for the people at the bottom, and it needs to end.
How close would you say that you are to a deal right now with Iran?
Could happen any day. Could, and it might not happen. We projected 4 to 5 weeks.
This is a short excursion.
This is only just the beginning.
We've already won in many ways, but we haven't won enough.
Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
You're
but soon.
about days?
I think soon.
Okay.
How long now do you think the war is likely to last?
I can't tell you that. I mean, I have my own idea, but what good does it do? It'll be as long as it's necessary.
When are you going to know when it's over?
When I feel it.
Okay.
I feel it in my bones.
Can we wrap this war up this week?
Yeah, sure. Good.
Will we?
I don't think so, but it'll be soon. It was essentially largely over in 2 or 3 days.
We wouldn't want to set a definitive time frame on that. We're on plan.
We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this.
We estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our mission. We're way ahead of schedule. I do see a deal in Iran.
Mr. President.
Could be soon.
The upcoming days will be decisive.
The U.S. will be gone or done with the war in 2
I think we're 2 or 3 weeks. We are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast.
Stopping you from ending the war.
Well, it could end very quickly. And I view it as very close to over.
You had initially said it would be 4 to 6
Well,
weeks.
I hope that, but I also took a little break. I gave them a break.
Probably another 2 weeks, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And time is not of the essence for us.
I think there are 2 ways in which people are controlled. First of all, frighten people, and secondly, demoralize them. An educated, healthy, and confident nation is harder to govern. And I think there's an element in the thinking of some people. We don't want people to be educated, healthy, and confident because they would get out of control. The top 1% of the world's population own 80% of the world's wealth. It's incredible that people put up with it. They're poor, they're demoralized, they're frightened, and therefore they think perhaps the safest thing to do is take orders and hope for the best.
8 billion people
are being controlled by 100 families.
Who are these families?
These are the elite oligarchs that control the planet. They literally run us. They tell us what to do, hear, see, smell, taste, touch, feel, where we can go, where we can't go. They're running us, and we are put in place to work for the people, but they got it flipped and they got us working for them.
Right.
And telling us what they're going to do to us if we don't listen to them. That's the opposite of what it's supposed to be. The reason why the world it is today, why we have this boot on our neck, it's because of us. We're the problem. They're sharks. A shark smells blood, a shark attacks.
Right.
A shark is going to be a shark. How come we as 8 billion people haven't stopped falling for these divide and conquer tactics and stopped fighting each other over the scraps and realize who the real enemy is? While we're fighting each other, they're just cutting up the pie and laughing at us. Left wing, right wing, all the same bird. There's no such thing as a Democrat or Republican. The only thing that does exist, like I say, is a group of elite oligarchs that torture men, women, and children worldwide. That exists.
This is patriotism in Britain. Riots against the establishment. This is what it's about to be British. Don't let other people tell you.
Fear, scarcity, and lack are huge contributors to the human psychology. And we shall not allow these people to win. Thank you all for making it this far into the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will continue to pump out more videos like this if you guys find it interesting. I definitely find it interesting. I want to get to the bottom of all of this. Definitely want to spread the word. But if you guys really enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for making it to the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.